Hi, my name's Sam Rolfe. I'm a new programmer. So in the summer of 2011, Sure, thanks. Summer of 2011, a few things changed in my life. I started drinking coffee. I started learning Russian on my own time. And with that one in particular, something came up. First of all, it was surprising the alphabet was the easiest thing to learn. Knew the alphabet pretty fast, maybe a week, and I could pronounce basically everything of the whole Russian language because it's phonetic. It's really, at least that's what I thought, you know. But the question I had, and the question that's come up in coding too, is what am I going to do with this? I can like say a bunch of words. I have no idea what it means, what to do with it. So yeah, I started programming, same type of thing. Learned a lot of syntax, went through a lot of the online tutorials. Felt kind of confident, but then when I tried to do things, I was like, what? There's a lot more to this than I thought. So enter Tim Ferriss. I think pretty much everyone knows who he is these days, but he's like a guru guy. I've been probably reading him since about the same time in 2011. In his 4-Hour Chef, he has a meta-learning section, and in it is this cool chart about language learning. He deconstructs language. He takes 4 sentences that cover a lot of grammar, a lot of content, and he puts it in 9 different languages and just compares them side by side. And in doing that, you learn a lot about the key differences in the languages. So I thought, why don't I do this with programming languages? What are the key kind of sentences, if you will, or concepts? And how can we learn by comparing them? So just as an example, simple function, add 2 numbers in JavaScript and in Python. So about midway through the program, I enter a boot camp, and we're learning JavaScript, full stack kind of a JavaScript web development. And that's why I'm comparing JavaScript and Python here, and I'm kind of taking that further. So the core sentences that I came up with, to keep it simple for now, are functions, lists, and loops, as kind of how do you do that in a few different languages. Imports, interacting with the outside, that one's pretty simple, and then classes and inheritance. That's what I came up with for now, and I think it's an interesting topic, like what are the keys to learning a programming language? And in this, I'm going to do the side-by-side comparison thing in Python, JavaScript, Ruby, which I'm new to right now, and then C# for a look for the future, because I'm kind of interested in that, want to look at what that means. So I'll start with home base, the language we all, I think, know and love, Python. So loops, lists, and functions, as many of us probably know here, work this way in Python. So I think if we take a look at, so Python, imports, I'm not going to explain too much about the Python one, but in classes and inheritance. So I know the most about Python. I could probably explain the most right now about it. So I included getters and setters. This is how you display a class. I'm going to do the same thing with the languages I look at. Here's the drink, and then here's the beer within that drink class. So you inherit the drink from that. That's my favorite one. That's what I think you can get the most out of in comparing the languages. So yeah, I'm trying to click the meaning from the syntax, like what can I get from the structure, and how can I understand more about meaning through comparing these structures. So this is what they look like in Python. And then let's look at JavaScript. Define a function. This includes a list. So you can see the iterator is very different. It's capitalized here because I was using a word editor. Conditionals, if statement. Imports, closest thing I can find to that, you declare a variable for pulling in other modules, just like Python. This is kind of like saying, importing, say this is pandas as PD, or sorry, the other way around, so it's backwards. Import express as express, similar. So that kind of helps me click the meaning. Classes and inheritance. So JavaScript doesn't really have classes. They have kind of faux classes, just a function. They're called constructors. Yeah, same kind of thing. Here's the main. This is the parent. Here's the child. You inherit it by calling this person. And then go through these quicker. I don't know as much about these, so I might start getting things wrong at this point. But here's your functions. I like the for loop. It's funny. I learned a lot by comparing the for loop in Python and Ruby. They're very different. Yeah. So this is a lot like function, like a JavaScript function in a way, like a callback function. Here's your iterator now. Different order. It's kind of like in language where you'll see subject, verb, object. Just made those words up. Subject, verb, object will like flip around from one language to the other. Kind of like in Ruby here. You have your iterator at the end, or in Python it'll be right after the for. And then I'm going to flip really fast to C# because I'm really new to that. And probably it's all wrong. Yeah, class inheritance. And then C#. I'm really excited to learn more of this. This is fancy. Yeah, inheritance. And then next steps, I'm hoping to maybe do this with web frameworks. Take a look, like what are the main sentences in like Django versus Mean, versus Sinatra versus .NET. So that's what I'm hoping. And then shout out to Jordan, my mentor, and the ChiPy program. I've learned a lot. Always a beginner though. So thank you guys so much.